You got my attention, but you won't talk. You stop my ascension, babe, with your evil walk. You confess to your priest, baby. Now confess to me. You make me so damn desperate, babe, but I won't leave.
Tangent. I'm Adam.
I'm Jen.
Jen over here. We got Joel Cole, as per usual, and our guest today,
Charles.
Charles.
Charles Aites. Thank you very much for having me, guys.
Thanks for being here. Now, we met Charles at Rocky Horror Picture Show, which we talked about on the last episode, actually. We just came back from it. Yes, the Nuarte.
Nice.
The Nuarte over in Santa Monica. How long has that been going on?
Oh, damn. You
Like
just started out like the first question right there that I don't have an answer for. I'm sorry.
Right?
I've been over at the Nuarte for about 8 years now, since we moved down to Los Angeles 8 years ago.
Wow.
So I hear that they've been doing it longer. Actually, no, wait a minute. I do actually know this answer. It's been 30 years.
Wow.
Because they just had their anniversary. I was not there, so that's why I do not remember it.
Yeah, because I used to go to that back when I was in high school, so that's at least 10 years. 15 years? Oh my God.
And just to clarify, that's the one like Santa Monica and Sawtell, like right at that corner?
Yeah, the 405.
Get off the 405, and there's that nice fancy theater right there. And
Yeah. Oof, 30 years.
That's how old I am.
Oh, that's right. Look at you.
Yeah, just as old as that theater.
Yeah.
Or at least the Rocky Horror Show.
So in theory,
Yeah.
you could have been conceived at a Rocky Horror Picture Show at that theater.
You know what? If you knew my mother,
So,
that wouldn't be far-fetched.
Rocky Horror Picture Show came out in 1975. So if we need like a little marker
Yeah.
of
Oh, wow.
So 43 years.
Wow.
Well, quick, man.
Damn.
Hey, you know, I just started.
I'm still trying to
That's
carry
why.
the one. So how did you get, well, we'll get to that.
No.
Where did you come from?
I came from the Bay Area, San Jose,
Nice.
just around the corner from Santa Cruz.
Oh, all right.
Bay Area. Cheers, Bay Area.
Cheers.
SoCal.
SoCal. Yeah.
Cheers.
So from the Bay Area, how long were you there?
Well, I was born and raised up in the Bay Area.
Okay.
I did not do a lot of traveling. Did not go far anywhere. And then met a young lady who had traveled around the world, and we met, we fell in love. And she said, that's it, I want to move to Los Angeles, I want to reinvent myself.
Okay.
You can come with me or not. I'm like,
Oh,
Oh. Okay.
oh, okay, well, yeah,
I love you too?
let's move to Los Angeles. To be fair, we were only dating for about 3 months at that point, but I was,
Wow, 3
yeah,
months. and you're
we
moving
just
together.
jumped right in there.
How old were you?
I am older.
Oh,
How old was I? Oh, damn it. Now you're going to expect me to do math here now, too? Let's see. 45 minus 8. That would be...
Crap.
37.
Thank you.
All right, so I was about 37 years old at the time.
All right.
It's all the pressure. You're 37 years old at the time?
I was 37 years old at the time.
Wow. All right, I was thinking you're like 18 and doing this kind of thing, not 37 and dating for 3 months and then
that's
changing your whole life.
That's the,
What do you put it that way, Jen? It's rude.
I try not to be rude. I fail sometimes. Sorry.
So what were you doing up to this point over in the Santa Cruz area?
well, in San Jose.
San Jose, sorry.
Yeah, so it's all technically driven up there. You know,
Okay.
Google Land now, Yahoo, and Memorex.
Silicon
Memorex
Valley.
is still a
Silicon
thing,
Valley, yeah.
by the way, Silicon Valley. And so it was not, I would have to say it was not like a very terribly exciting place. Not compared to Los Angeles. I was a fabricator. I built boxes
Oh, okay.
for Apple and
awesome.
medical boxes. It was just big display cases. That's what I do, like that thing over there and
nice.
whatnot.
Yeah, housing the banana caster.
Yeah, in the corner of the bar over there.
Right over there.
Yeah,
So yes,
exactly.
that's how we're broadcasting from the bar. It's the banana caster.
Yeah. We got to protect that banana caster at this bar.
Yeah.
It's
Right,
like, hey, buddy,
lots
buddy.
around here.
Yeah, move along.
Don't put your drink by the banana caster.
It's not an actual banana, Dick. Move along.
You inspected it,
sorry.
didn't you?
What?
You inspected to see if it was a real banana?
No.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
Got you excited, didn't it?
A little bit.
But it was. I would have to say, like my life was not terribly exciting. I got up, I would go to work, I would build a box. I would, on the weekend, go to Rocky Horror Picture Show,
Nice.
and then leave. So people would ask, "How was your day today?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It was like any other day. I went to work. I built the box, played some video games with my brother, and I went home. I don't know. It's my regular old day."
Yeah, it was definitely a day.
Yeah, we moved down to Los Angeles. And it's a different world, a completely different world down here. And I feel like I've kind of acclimated a bit. I do have my regular daily routine. And people will ask me, I was like, hey, how's your day going? I was like, I don't know, it's like any other day. I got up, they had shut down the freeway because they were filming their next Fast and Furious movie. And,
course.
I went into the office and, there was that guy from Third Rock from the Sun was in there again. And, then I went off into, got to the grocery store and, bumped into Brad Pitt, and
Jesus Christ.
and
It's quite a day. Quite a different day than getting up to make a box.
And the weird thing is that is all true. That's, and then other people were sitting there going, oh yeah, same thing happened to me.
Right.
Nothing exciting. I got stuck in the same traffic accident as you.
Yeah. See, I was at the Whole Foods. That's where I saw Tom Cruise. The only difference from your story.
Oh, so something I noticed from that story. So RHPS, Rocky Horror Picture Show, is what this event's about.
Wow.
So RHPS was part of your life way back before you moved down here.
Way back in the day. Started doing Rocky Horror in 1996.
Oh, wow.
Wow, the 1900s.
Yes.
Way back last century. Huh?
Yeah.
I like the idea that I was born in one century and I will die in another one. I like that idea.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's like, the poor people who only lived in one century, those poor people.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand,
Right.
I lived in 2 centuries, thank you.
He's a witch.
But I started doing Rocky. My best friend in the whole wide world, Ed Reed, shout out to best friends in the whole wide world,
right.
Ed Reed.
Sure.
Ed Reed, man.
He started doing Rocky Horror Picture Show, and he comes up to me and he goes, Charles, you have to come out to this thing. It's called the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It is crazy. It is fantastic. I can't describe it. You have to come out.
Okay.
Well, all right. Well, I got to go.
Had you seen the movie at this point?
No, I had not seen it.
Okay.
And so I go to the movie and I sit down and I watch everything that's going on. And I think to myself, this is the stupidest thing I have ever seen in my life. And so at the end of it, my best friend in the whole wide world, Ed, he's just like, so what'd you think of it? Wasn't it great? And I was like, no, I'm never coming back to this again. He goes,
What have you done to me? Our friendship is over.
What did you just watch?
and he goes, it grows on you. You know what? Just come back.
Wow.
I'm like, you know what? He's my best friend. He loves doing this thing.
He was in it?
No. He was an audience member at the time. And
That was your first time ever watching the movie, too.
yeah, so that was the first time I ever watched the movie.
That's quite the introduction into the movie.
And the thing is that I watched the movie. I wasn't watching everything that was going on.
Right, okay.
And so, it's like, it's a full experience.
Yes.
I'm like, all right. So I dressed up in a really, really crazy outfit.
Okay.
And I go back and it's like, nope, I'm sorry. This is just horribly time wasting and stupid.
Okay.
I can't do this. And he goes, but just come back one more week, just come back one more week. And,
It's like a
and
push
it grows on you. It grows on you.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah? This time he actually has joined cast and he is now Brad Majors.
Okay.
And so now I am watching my best friend and I'm seeing him in the lingerie and I'm seeing, all this stuff going on. I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. This is just not my world. I'm sorry. I don't want to do this. And he turns to me and he goes, Charles, I don't understand. What is it about a bunch of people running around in their underwear that you don't like?
That's a good question. When you frame it that way.
I was like, you know what? Maybe I should come back. So I started coming back, and about 2 months or so later, and it was nice. Like, oh, okay, I like the scenery. This is looking really good.
I see.
But I'm sorry, this is not really for me. And he goes, well, the thing is that you're an audience member. What you really need to do is you need to join the cast.
Wow.
That's a big leap for somebody that's not even really enjoying the whole experience.
Is this guy now a master negotiator in Washington, or the best car salesman in the world?
A little backstory. My best friend in the whole wide world, Ed Reed, he is a nuclear physicist.
Oh.
Wow.
Who is married.
Smart, yeah.
I mean, by conventional standards.
Runs around in his underwear for
Yes.
Rocky Horror. Okay.
He is also married to an Olympic judo wrestling champion / nuclear physicist.
What in
Yes.
the world?
They're going to make super babies.
Oh my God. That is like,
Yes, the world is in good hands. Once they have kids, that's it.
that's like my dream wife. Wow.
She can outsmart you and kick your ass.
I like the gymnastics part of it. Like, wow.
That's all she heard.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
That's all she- Gymnastics went? Yeah.
Yeah.
Side note with the Rocky Horror thing.
That's cool. That's what I heard.
My friend Ed and his wife Rosie. One little side story about Rocky Horror is that we all go to the Rocky. Now I've been doing Rocky Horror for several years now. We're all on cast. Rosie is more. She'll just sit and watch the show, and we do like to drink our alcohol
I noticed
on
that
occasion.
I noticed that the last time.
It seems to
that's
just,
weird.
it's like, oh, well, it's like, oh, no.
Happens
Oh,
to
all
everybody,
right.
I think that's the only reason you agreed to do the show, is because it took place in a bar.
That was actually a really nice thing. I was just like, I was like, I don't know, maybe on booze. Well, all right.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I don't have to pay for that. Oh, all right, let's.
Wow. I
Here
think
I
I'll
am.
join the cast as well then.
So we were doing a 4th of July show, and at the end of the show, the audience is leaving, and the cast is just milling around on the stage, and we've been drinking like you do,
Of course.
and Ed and Rosie and I were just kind of like talking with people, and Rosie, she is an Olympic judo wrestling champion, and I'm also a martial arts instructor as well, and she's just kind of like looking at me, and she gives me this look. And this look immediately translates into my mind. And I think to myself, oh, I know what's about to happen. And she just grabs me and throws me across the stage.
I love her.
I mean, no warning, no nothing. She just looked at me and says, woof. And, just,
Damn, she's amazing.
Suck and roll, Ben.
and everybody's like, oh my gosh, that was such a wonderful performance. I had such a great time. You were great. What just happened?
As a side question, what was your discipline in martial arts?
I studied in Bujinkan Ninjutsu.
Okay, so I was just because the ones I'm familiar with that have to do with like momentum, like Kenpo, Aikido, stuff like that, maybe you would have handled the throw like that goes in with your discipline, but I'm not too familiar with the ones you mentioned. Is that entail you learning how to just take a throw? Like
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, luckily enough, I knew exactly how to just plain roll.
Okay.
That's good.
And then
Getting tossed around by a gymnastic physicist or
and then I just
Whatever.
I got back up and just walked back over with my drink and got back into the conversation like nothing had happened.
That's amazing.
That's pretty
I
cool.
would love to be a spectator that just walk back over.
Yeah. Drink didn't spill.
Did you guys all see that? That guy just threw that girl. The one that we're still talking to? Yeah, he threw her. Or she threw him.
know,
They're hanging out, having a good time. He was on the floor a second ago. He didn't see this. Nobody saw this.
You know, after that show we saw, though, I don't think that would have been so out of the norm. I don't think I would have been like,
Okay.
oh, that was weird. 'Cause there's so many weird things going on at that show.
True. Yeah.
And then I was watching you.
I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
okay. Yeah.
No, literally, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I was
getting
there.
back to the drinking at Rocky Horror, yes.
It was a special night.
Now you guys prepared for the show, so you watched it. Clearly, you showed up in costume.
Yes, I was.
Which we
I
need
got
to
really
put a picture,
into it.
right, at some point, because I
Picture
saw
here.
it last show. Was very cool.
It was
Yes.
it was a good one. I was kind of proud of myself. I came up with it last second too.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it really stood out. I mean, that's a really nice Brad outfit that you had.
Thank you.
Right.
I didn't want to like go for the really extreme like slutty costumes that I've seen at Rocky Horror before because I feel like everybody does that and they
So
don't stand out.
passe now.
Yeah, right. I mean, I can only see so many people's asses in fishnets and whatever. Like, wow, like some of them are so outrageous. They
I
don't stand
long
out.
for a bustle and corset. Oh my goodness. Show me a little bit of ankle. That's all I need. Oh, this.
But, I wanted to go
A
for
little
like
imagination we
the.
need.
Do you guys know what Disney bounding is?
Yes.
Okay. So
No, explain for the people, yeah, that don't.
So yeah, for the audience that doesn't know, obviously. For
For the whole bar? Okay.
No, we all know.
Well, Disney bounding is like when you dress up like a character, but you don't really dress up in like their costume or whatever. So if you're gonna be, let's say, I don't know, like Pinocchio,
Okay.
like you just wear like Pinocchio's colors and
Oh,
you know what I'm
yes.
saying?
Yes, I
Or
have
like
heard
if
of
you're
this.
gonna be Dumbo, it's not that you have like a big elephant nose. You just wear like gray and I think it's red and yellow for his hat. And
Yeah.
You just kind of have like this similar qualities.
It's as if they took the character and magic wanded them, now you're a human.
Right.
What would you look like as a human
So
version
then
of this?
what's the difference between a bounded Pac-Man and a bounded Pikachu? Say he was like, I'm just
Lightning
wearing
bolt.
a big
Lightning bolt.
yellow shirt.
Yeah.
What's that? I'm sorry?
Lightning bolt, little.
Oh, okay.
There you
Or
go.
walking around with Tic Tacs that are white.
They do like,
Yeah, just sitting there, just popping those.
So it's not like you're wearing like a mask or anything.
so it's
Like-
it's like a very vague, just
Right.
Yeah.
the very boundaries of a character.
If you actually wear a costume, you'd get in trouble. So they're just like, well, I don't want to wear a costume.
Yeah, yeah.
So you wear like their colors.
Yeah.
It's like an insider type of thing where you walk around like you just give the nod as you pass by. I know what you're doing.
Well, when
Yeah.
they do character development in animation, they'll do that with just like a color scheme. It'll be like, these are the 3 or 4 colors that this character has in them, and it'll have like that color scheme. So I've
Okay.
seen that before, so maybe that's kind of what it's tied
Okay.
into.
Yeah, because it's out. You can't do that at Disneyland. You can't dress up at all, right? They
I mean, I see kids dressed up there. I think it's
Yeah, but-
past
Yeah.
a certain age.
you can't turn a kid around. Get out here with your dress.
I mean, you can be the parent that pays an
Little
arm
boy.
and a leg, be there, but you can't dress up. if you're
Right,
the parent.
yeah.
Okay. Kind of lame.
Yeah, I bet Disney would be real happy about that 45-year-old man just walking around as Peter Pan. It's like, you want to get a picture with me? Come over here. All right, $5.
Here, let me sprinkle this on you.
Tic Tac.
I don't think they can afford Disneyland, these types of degenerates you're talking about. But maybe they can.
Well, never mind. I was going to go real dark. Let's move on.
Okay then.
So
the
Disney bounding's the
Disney-
thing.
Yeah, the Disney
anyways-
bounding, and that came into
So,
play.
and
from-
I'm just saying, like, my Rocky Horror outfit was just,
Oh, yes.
it was Brad-esque. Like, it wasn't like I had a whole, like, costume. It was just, I got a similar shirt, he wore, like, a shirt that has a collar, then a vest, and then
It's the same shirt.
a jacket.
It was basically the same everything.
It was almost
It
the
was
same
down to the
everything.
Yeah.
sneakers too, though, right?
You even printed out the
did.
logo.
I know, that was like a full-on logo and everything.
Last minute, I like Googled what the logo was. I was like, I know he had a patch on there, and then I printed it out. And I
Oh,
ironed it
you're
on real
like
quick.
secretly proud. You're like,
When
Dude, I know. I was like, I was really proud.
When I was Brad, I never had like a little patch. I went out to the Goodwill. I was lucky
That's
enough to
right.
find a sweater vest. It wasn't even the same color. I was like, it's fine. It's Rocky Horror.
They'll all be
A
drunk.
little members only jacket. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Look fine. I'm Brad. I was like, oh, I'm disturbed. Oh, I'm shocked. And then that was it. And then I really like it when the audience participants, when they show up and they put a lot of effort in their costume, it really makes them stand out. And as well, is that we will choose random people in the audience to just come up onto the stage for a little quick thing.
Yeah.
And as I, the criminologist, I get the last line. So I get to choose somebody to hold the globe for me. And I like to choose people who like stand out and clearly want to be there and
Yeah.
so forth. And so, yeah, it's just like, I was looking around, looking, see, and I was like, whoa. Like, nice costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny because when you did come up to me to like ask me to hold the globe. Okay,
I was hoping you could tell a story.
it was so late at night. And I'm from Orange. Like I traveled far, drank with this shit show, and
I don't know what you're talking about.
and
I don't know.
by the time we got through the whole thing of Rocky Horror, I was exhausted, and I knew in the beginning, like you guys said, if we catch anybody falling asleep, I think you're gonna like draw dicks on their face or
Yep.
something. And I was like, God, I haven't had a dick on my face in so long.
I'm sorry. Can we get a sound bite of that, please? Just cut that out. That is an awesome sound
That's a new
drop.
promo for the podcast.
When you like, it was the last like 10 minutes of the show or something, and I was just like Adam and his girlfriend were sitting next to me, and I just want them to see that I was falling asleep, so I went like this. And then all of a sudden, you're talking to me, I'm like,
just like,
oh, God. And I go, okay.
He
Get it right, just the little thing right there. Oh, hi. Hi, you're awake after all.
I totally thought you were pulling a prank on me or something because I was like, oh my God, he asked me to go and hold the globe. He totally saw me sleeping. He's gonna like embarrass me in front of everybody right now. And I'm not gonna, I wasn't in the mood. But then I actually did hold the globe. I was like, oh, this is fun.
I actually have a picture of that, which will be posted right here as well.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Thanks.
I did it to myself now. I don't know what happened.
I like to make extra work for him.
Yeah, this is all post-production work that I'll do.
Well, I'm really glad that you had a good time.
I did. And I was really happy not to wake up with a dick on my face. Thank you.
Any day that you wake up without a dick on your face is a good day in my book.
Yes, cheers.
It wasn't my motto in high school, but now it is. There you go.
So, Charles, you said 8 years ago you came to LA. How long after you moved to LA did you get involved with RHPS yourself?
I really tried to leave.
You tried to leave behind you?
I was like, that's it. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And I mean, obviously, Rocky Horror. It did. Yeah. It's just like I tried to get away.
Yes.
Just tried. It did, of course, grow on me. And you meet wonderful people. You make really good friends, and you have a really good time. And it becomes like your routine. However, you get older, you get crankier.
The cast is pretty young, it seemed like.
Yeah, and
it's like
that's
a lot of young kids.
that's always going to happen. You're always going to have, like a cycle through of the next generation.
It's like a decathlon type of thing. As one crowd exits, pass the baton, now here's the younger crowd taking over for them.
Thank you for explaining that so well.
Yes.
We're kind of seeing that going on right now. Like a lot of us, quote unquote, old timers, we're kind of retiring. We just had one of our really good Trixies, Jesse. He had his retirement.
And he was playing Rocky
night.
that night, right?
That was actually Trixie.
Okay.
Was he playing Rocky?
Yeah, that was
It was
when
Rocky.
we went. It was Rocky's last night. Whoever was playing Rocky.
Right.
He was great.
Yeah, that was Chris Correa. Wonderful guy.
Okay.
Oh, he was great. I loved it.
So good.
Yeah,
So funny.
His quote unquote last night, he came back to perform as Rocky because Jesse asked him, it's like, this is my last night, I want you to come back.
Oh, I see.
And so we had, so all of us, we're kind of like, we're moving on, and I'm seeing like the young people, they're taking over, and I think it's really cool to watch what they're saying. It's like, well, okay, this is going to be our show now. We're going to make it our thing. We're going to make it, a place for us. And there's kind of like a part of me that kind of says, well, this is not my world anymore. It should be for you guys now.
Okay.
And so I think that I should retire as well. It's time for me to move on.
You're fine.
Actually, yeah, I know. It's like actually there's this like, no, everybody else is retiring. You're not allowed to retire.
Right,
Stop
yeah.
it. Yeah. I'm like, okay, all right, As
being
long as I don't
selfish, Charles.
become the creepy old guy that's just like, I was like, hey,
Well, okay, so Charles, now I think this is probably a good segue for me to bring up this question then. You said you want to make this a group for us and you don't want to be the creepy old guy. So, as someone that has never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show, and at risk of being a creepy old guy myself if I'm going for the first time, and especially you said there's newer crowds coming in and all that, how would you suggest, what's the best way for someone like myself that loves film and the different cult classics and that have great fan bases? Do I watch the movie first? Do I jump into the deep end like you did without seeing it first and just go to an experience? Do I go with some friends that have seen it before?
You put on a pair of fishnets and you hit
Do I
the
just
show.
hide by myself and just like, oh, is this what goes on? And like just try to like...
Yeah, because that's not creepy.
You need a trench coat and dark sunglasses.
Right.
And
That's
that's
what
it.
I'm here.
fake
That's it.
nose and a mustache, but yeah.
Oh, there you go.
yes.
That's a great answer.
All of the above. There you go. When you go over to the Nuarte, and actually every time that I've ever gone to see
Thank you.
any cast perform, the audience is all over the place. The first time, this was that first night that I went to Rocky Horror, there was a mom who showed up in hot pants and like a little halter top with her 7-year-old daughter.
Oh, no.
Man.
No.
That's too young for that show. I saw so many boobs that night. I'm not complaining, but if
What?
there's a 7-year-old, that's
What was that?
terrible. I showed you the chick with the pasties.
Well, they're like midnight shows too, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a 7-year-old kid already, and like.
Yes.
But also, you know, there's
many things.
I've been to like the quote unquote like PC friendly like 8 o'clock shows and so forth, where they kind of like try to make it more
thing? How
family
do you-
friendly because it's been around since 1975. And when
I
you
saw it
watch,
when I was young. My brother showed it to me.
Oh yeah.
and there's a lot of people who have stories about it's like, oh, I met Harry at the show and we've been together for 15 years. And now like our kids are getting into it and it's a family thing. That's, I mean, like
Bonding over a show based on transvestites from
outer
transsexual-
space
from
that, you know, like
And
murder and eat
generationally,
people. It's, you know,
Yeah,
Fine.
wholesome.
It's fine.
Hey,
they make action figures out of it.
So,
And-
so
I think I saw it when I
watch
was
the movie
7.
first,
Yeah.
or just jump in?
But we see how it turned out.
The way you explain it is kind of like a Reese's. There's no wrong way to eat.
Yeah, there's no way to go. And when you go to the show and you see the audience members, I mean, the audience members are all over the place. You know, they're young and old and you know,
Yeah.
large groups and whatever. And for the new art, every now and then you will see like a random celebrity that's decided to have their birthday party or their bachelor party there or
nice.
whatever. And so I sadly never recognize anyone.
Yeah.
So I'm always going to
For
be.
Brad Pitt that one time and the.
So Brad Pitt, segue
No
off
way.
of this story. So Brad Pitt. So now I work in a little office. You don't really expect, you know, celebrities to come walking in, and I sell raw materials to special effects companies.
Okay.
So it's not. On the surface, it does not seem like that really big of a, you walk in and say, hey, I need a block, a chunk of X. I'm like, all right, here you go. And that's it, that's my job.
Yeah.
And then one day this guy walks in and I'm like looking at him and he seems to be milling around. And I was like, okay, if he needs help, I'll ask him if he needs help. And he walks over and he's like, hey, so I was wondering if I could talk to somebody about some plastics, if I could. And I'm thinking to myself, I've seen this guy somewhere. Where do I know this guy? I'm like, man, you know what? He's a dead ringer for Brad Pitt. But in Los Angeles, like you could be a lookalike, you could be
Right.
a double or something like that.
Yeah,
So
he's
I-
a stand-in.
Yeah, he's a stand-in.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's clearly what he does. Man, he even sounds like Brad Pitt.
That could be a stunt double.
And then you got closer and it even smells like Brad.
And so he's constantly like moving, and he has these arm tattoos. And I'm talking to him, and I just go to my computer and I just type in Brad Pitt arm tattoos. Brad Pitt is in my office. Okay, and what do you do at that
Buy his own
point?
materials.
Yeah, you should have a guy for that.
Right?
I don't know. He was.
I just want to get away from the wife and all the
You're right.
kids.
That's not the question you asked. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
It's a bad question. Bad sales technique.
So I just asked him to hit me as hard as he could.
Yes.
So you were supposed to talk about it.
So like, what in the face?
First rule, Brad.
First rule, man, you already talked about
Go
it.
crazy.
No, actually, he was sent in to. He was referred to another person in the office. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, you needed to talk to so and so. I'm like, okay. And then we all have to pretend that nothing is going on.
course.
So you're just like, okay. You're just doing your office things, Brad Pitt.
I feel like my inner monologue would start becoming outer monologue. I just like, be calm, dude, be cool. And then, oh shit, am I singing aloud? Oh god.
I think people that live in LA get used to it at some point. And what was interesting, one of our friends said that, because he lives in LA and he'll run into celebrities from time to time, and it's kind of interesting because he's like, you have this like familiarity with them. You like as if you have all this trust in them because you know them, but you don't really know them. So it's like
Yeah.
you feel close to them, but they're still a stranger.
And
And it's just a very odd feeling. I'm like, oh, I could see that.
after about like 8 years of being down here, I've kind of slowly but surely kind of gone native, I guess.
Okay. Acclimated.
Yeah, acclimated
Okay.
to the world. Because when we first moved down here, and my wife, she was like, hey, look, it's so and so from so and so movie. I'm like, huh? What? Oh, I'm gonna walk over there, ask for his autograph. It's like, no, don't do that. No, they're just out, buying groceries. I'm like, screw that. That's part of their job. They're celebrities. They're gonna get. Yeah, it's just like I'll walk up, I ask for an autograph, I get a picture with them. That's part of my job. That's what I do.
Yeah. You don't get to clock out from being a celebrity.
Yeah, I don't do that to regular people, and I don't walk up to ask. I don't ask for your autograph. People don't walk up and ask for my autograph. No, that's part of his job.
Sometimes
if he didn't want it,
sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
Right, sometimes you get a very friendly hug from some of your fans. Yeah.
At the Rat Pack Nation gatherings, some people do ask for.
Or they
Adam's
ask for
autograph.
LLK autograph from after her derby things.
Oh, you know what? I have more and more fans lately.
Is that right? Well, you're,
Like
you're an animal.
Some
I'm
girls
one right
last
here.
night saw me, I went to this party and some of the girls were from another team and they were saying oh yeah, I Facebook stalked you and I went on Instagram, I looked at you and you have a little fan club here. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I better keep doing derby, otherwise I'm a nobody.
I like how they can say, it was like, oh, I've been stalking you.
Oh, I know. It's so acceptable now. It's funny. I'm like, oh, okay. And then one girl started liking my stuff that night. I'm like, oh, okay. I was on my way home and I see that she liked things on Instagram. I'm like, Facebook stalking me again.
Oh, okay.
Instagram
I'm up to
stalking
7 stalkers myself. How many stalkers do you have? It's like,
Currently 0, but I have had mine in the past. But let me just ask.
Oh, I stopped counting.
me. Oh, yeah.
I just stopped.
Once you got into the triple digits, why bother?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, come on. At this point, they're just assume everybody that follows me on Instagram. At this point.
That's just a safe
Yes.
bet. But Jen, different story, because you're like, well, she said Facebook stalked me, and that's okay.
That's how I
whatever.
said it. Really? That was my.
That was my Jen impression. I'm working on it. There's a little bit of enunciation difference. I get it.
Get a little lower in your chair.
But if it was a 60-year-old dude that came up and was like, yeah, I Facebook stalked you, I don't think you'd be as cool with it.
I mean, people are weird. Guys are weird. It's not like something
We're weird.
similar like that hasn't happened.
There was a fundraiser where you had a guy. It was like you were selling raffle tickets or whatnot.
Was that the guy that gave me $300?
$300.
I was like, I'm gay. I put it out there to him, like, I'm gay, but if you want to keep giving me your money for raffle tickets, that's perfectly acceptable.
What I'm thinking,
And I was like, bye.
Yeah.
just the random active tangent that I was going
It's
with
creepy.
there is that with the different stalkers I have had, they've all been female. They're non-threatening. It's kind of nice. It's a little bit flattering. But if a dude is a stalker, it's automatically like, oh, what's the danger level here? I mean, just,
Yeah.
What's
But
the
then I
threat
just
level
whip
here?
this out, I'm like, oh, all right.
I see why you're not scared. Okay.
Let's get away.
no, I gotta see that again. Look at this. This is serious guns there. Damn.
Jan, are you kidding?
I play roller derby.
You never mentioned that before.
I know, right? It's not like I mention it every single
Right.
episode here, but
Yeah.
whatever.
So anyway, Brad Pitt was trying to buy raw
Oh, I'm
materials.
so sorry.
Yeah. The most exciting thing about that was that Brad Pitt was there. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's all I got.
That's enough for me. I mean, that's.
He came in.
Walked
He,
away.
we
You're
we,
such a
we
fan
talked
girl,
about.
aren't you?
I love Brad Pitt. He's good. Fight Club's like a top 5 of my top favorite movies.
Okay, is it Bruce Willis at the top and then Brad Pitt? He has
mm.
posters of Bruce Willis in his house.
I can get behind
sure
that.
he
I mean,
kisses
it's
his
Bruce
baby.
Willis after all.
Right. Yeah, no, it'd be nice to get behind it.
Well, you know what? You know why? What's the best Christmas movie ever made?
Die Hard.
I saw Bruce
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyone that says otherwise is bullshitting you. It's not Elf.
he
It's not
only-
the Santa Claus.
glad I
Get
didn't
outta
see
here.
Nightmare
Willis.
Before Christmas.
He only dresses up as Die Hard every single Christmas. Every time we have an ugly sweater party, boom.
You know it's John McClane, right? It's not. His name's not Die Hard.
That's fine. It's acceptable.
Whatever.
Okay.
You know what? I'm a girl, so I can get away with it.
Fine.
I'm not.
You saw the
It was an easy costume to
I'm
put
not
together.
dying.
He dressed up as like Nakatomi
A
Plaza.
torn up wife beater, and then you
Yeah,
know.
no. It's no. She's actually correct. It's Die Hard that I go as because it's the. I think his name is Carl. Carl in the elevator. Now I have a machine gun. Ho ho ho. with the Santa cap. That's what I dress up as. So I'm not dressed up as Bruce Willis.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's ugly sweater Christmas party. It's an ugly sweater.
Right,
I have
and every
machine
year it
gun.
gets uglier and uglier. It gets like more stains on it every time.
No, because I have to reapply it because I keep using a stupid marker that apparently is washable.
You know, I hear they make those that don't wash off now.
I don't
Oh,
believe it.
is it called permanent marker?
That's it.
Great name for it if it's not.
Yeah, right.
That's good advertising.
Are you using semi-permanent marker?
It's Crayola or something.
Or something that erases
okay.
maybe when it's dry. I mean, I don't know what you would think of a name for that.
Right. Oh, man. So, we're talking about Rocky Horror Picture Show and the best way to see it. Because my girlfriend hadn't seen it yet. When we went that night, I showed the movie to her hours before we went to the actual showing. Because I wanted her to know what the movie was a little bit. Because if she tried to watch it, especially the way that her mind works, she'd be way too distracted with everything else that was happening. Because there's a lot going on at one moment, so she wouldn't know what the movie was about.
It looks like chaos.
We'd walk away from the movie and she'd be like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what the plot was. I don't know any of the characters' names.
So I saw the whole experience,
Right.
That seems
sight
overwhelming.
unseen, and I have no idea. I was baffled and confused.
Right.
So I had to go out and I had to rent the movie,
That's
and
what
so
I was
I
afraid
watched it, and it made no sense at all, none whatsoever. And so that only fueled I was like, no, I have no interest in this.
Okay.
But it's not the movie by itself. It really is like the whole community.
It's
It's
the
a
culture.
whole experience. It's a
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
culture that slowly but surely just kind of like bleeds into you. It infects you, and after a while, and so I started out. When I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to do this anymore, and I was just an audience participant, and my friend Ed, he was just like, no, please, why don't you come back? You can join cast. I was like, whoa, join cast? I don't know, wear lingerie, you wear?
Right.
I don't know if I could do that. Well, let's see, what character doesn't do that? And there was Riff Raff.
Okay.
Riff Raff always wears that butler outfit.
Right.
And at the end of the movie, he does wear like the gold spandex kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's a little tighter,
But the particular cast, they had a little gag thing. The Magenta and Riff Raff, they would always wear some sort of silly, outrageous costume that they would rent.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, well, I'll audition for that. I'll try out for that.
Okay.
And I asked, well, hey, you guys need Riff Raffs? And he goes, no, we got like 9 of those guys. You know what we need is we need a Rocky. And I was in a little more in better shape than I
That
was.
is like
Yeah, the
one
most
extreme-
naked
yes.
guy in the whole movie.
His costume is basically a Speedo.
Okay, if we can pause here, just to catch up, paint as someone that has never seen this or just totally raw to the experience.
No spoilers, I'm sorry.
No, it's so wait. The guy you mentioned, Rocky, right? So that's Tim Curry's character.
No, that's Frankenfurter.
Okay. And second, you audition for these? I thought people just go dressed up and they just act out stuff.
Separate thing.
So that's how it actually started way back in 1975. People would just show up in costume and then they would just pantomime it. And then people started actually making honest to goodness casts out of it.
So you would audition for this role to show up, and then it would be almost like a theater troupe
Yeah.
that would show for every show, and then you sit
And
in
they-
the audience and then just come up and do stuff? Or?
No, so you do officially have like a cast and they show the movie and then the casts will perform the same scene in the same costumes and everything, and they'll
While
throw
it's going on? While
while
they're
it's
talking?
going on,
On
while
stage,
it's going
in
on.
front of the projection.
Oh.
And they'll toss in a couple of little extra gags and so forth, because clearly if you do the same thing over and over and over again, it's like, well, why don't I just watch the movie? So
Yeah, and some of it's really funny, like when they have this like fake big penis put out, and like anytime like a girl like has her mouth open, they just go real quick. It cracks me up so
Okay, that's funny.
bad. And like there's a scene in the car with Brad and Janet, and like I don't know, the penis came up like on Janet or something. It was like woo, and she looked like she was like holding it.
at
It
one
was
point,
like hilarious. I was like, oh my god, this is so much more vulgar. Like I didn't think it could.
That's why I was
get any
confused about the
more vulgar.
family-friendly version of this.
so yeah, they'll
Maybe we leave the phallus symbol out of the family.
Oh, that would help a
friendly,
lot.
yeah, in the actual movie, there is only one actual curse word.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's only one curse word.
What is it?
And it's fuck.
Oh wait, no.
They
What
say-
about
they say it
Janet?
once.
Janet.
That's not a curse word.
It's
Come
not a
on.
curse word these
That's not a-
days.
Get out of here. How dare
I
you?
might as well say blatherskite at that point. I mean, this is like,
Poppycock.
Come on, all right. We need to. Can we edit that out? Can we delete that?
hey, I say it like it is, man.
Wow.
Sorry.
Too far, man.
Well, fine. I guess I was wrong.
You know, because I guess in my mind there's a lot more cursing because of the live show.
Yeah.
There's a lot more cursing.
There's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of
There's
course,
a lot going on, a lot of cursing.
Yeah.
and that kind of like evolves through the decades,
Yeah.
as you know, people are like, oh, well, this is a wonderful world and I really like it. I want it to pertain to me. And so as, you know, us older people, as we just slowly but surely retire and move on, and then a younger generation takes it on and they reinvent it so it's the same movie, you know, years and years and years later, and they just keep on showing it, and it just gets a little more tame and a little more dated, and a little more safe, you know, as the time goes on. I mean, you think about like movies made back in the 30s, like, well, that was an outrageous movie. You can't show that. You know,
Yeah.
we gotta censor this. We gotta take this out. And we can watch those movies today and go, oh my goodness, how quaint. How adorable. In another 40 years, how quaint and adorable and dated will Rocky Horror be? But
There's also odd examples. We just did something on spoilers. It was the taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, which was way back in the day. The guy that plays Grumpy Old Man, I forget his name. Walter Matthau. Walter Matthau.
Oh.
And in that movie, it also has Jerry Costanza, George's dad.
Oh. I don't know.
Stiller, whatever.
Yeah, Ben Stiller's dad.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like, not subtle, but just like aggressive racism in it. And it's like, wow, that couldn't happen today. So,
Yeah.
There's a thing about, in the time, too far. In this day and age, wouldn't
on the
work.
flip side, we were watching a couple of shows. One of my favorite shows as a kid was Soap. If anybody ever saw Soap.
I remember so.
Okay.
And
Some
it
greats
was
came out of there,
it was a show that was basically a big spoof on daytime soap operas.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
And when it came on Netflix or Hulu, I can't remember, you know, whatever came on, but we all sat down and we're like, oh my gosh, I love this show. This is such a great show. This is hysterical. We gotta watch it.
Okay.
And there's a lot of gay jokes in this show.
All right.
And they're just so old and tired and dated. And
I see.
as one person, they're going, oh, by the way, you might not know this, but I am gay. And then everybody goes, for another 15 minutes, people are just like going, oh my gosh, he said he was gay. What do you
Reaction
do?
shots, everybody.
Break out the fainting couches.
And so nowadays, I'm watching this show and I'm like, yeah, and?
Fine. I'm in Rocky Horror Picture Show. This means nothing.
Tell me who's not gay.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because I understand what you're saying. There are a lot of shows like that are risque in their time, but then because like cultural norms like changed and everything, you're like, oh, they were still kind of playing it close to the vest. I think there are a few examples to that. I mean, one that I'm not going to elaborate on is the second one I want to talk about. First, Chappelle's Show, right at their time.
Yeah.
But second, like Tropic Thunder, I don't think you can make a movie like that. Even like 10 years later, you're gonna have someone in blackface, unless it's Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
That's not flying.
He gets a pass. Because he's
Right?
amazing. He's amazing.
And then it's like, oh, and you never go, you know, full Jack or full retard. Then
Yeah.
so you
Right.
can't say that now. And it's like, that was not even that long ago. But they were pushing boundaries that we've kind of repealed back
Right.
on now.
We're getting censored differently nowadays. Like, there's a lot of censorship, I think, going on. Not so much with how, like, you expose yourself on TV, because, like, I Love Lucy, they couldn't sleep in the same bed together.
Yeah.
You
Brady
know?
Bunch, yeah.
But that's nothing now. You know, like, they can be naked, they can say bitch, they can, you know, like, sleep in the same bed, that's like nothing. But now we have to be very sensitive about certain things. So like, a lot of comedians are censored. And it's like nowadays, and I think it's kind of crap because it keeps them from some really good jokes.
Totally.
It depends on the issue
really
itself.
offended.
Because, retard, that's a thing that's like, you can't really help, I guess. It's
Well, I am
it's a
offended by
condition.
that.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know.
I get it. But, I mean, as far as like being gay and whatnot, that has become, it's come more to the forefront. And it's more accepted now. And it's almost to the point where if you don't accept it, you're an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas, but in this direction, certain things like, okay, that you need to calm that down. This is starting to be more okay. So it's like where this used to be okay and this is not. It's starting to shift.
And Rocky Horror, when it first came out, the whole idea of Rocky Horror was just like, you know what? I'm really sick and tired of being forced into this cookie cutter world and being told how I'm supposed to be. And Richard O'Brien, who wrote the original play Rocky Horror Show, which became Rocky Horror Picture Show, and so forth, which is Riff Raff. He was just
Nice.
well, there you go.
Well, you've never even seen the movie.
I know, but it's a little bit. I like to educate myself.
Started out as a play.
So the character Riff Raff was actually
And Richard O'Brien, you know, he was basically, you know, very British, and they're just like, you must be this way. This is how society works, and this is how you're going to follow
Yeah.
the rules. And he's just like, oh, I'm bored. I don't want to do this. I got to break out. This is how I assume. I don't know why.
Right.
I got to do my thing. And so he made this absolutely outrageous play of just this is how I want my world to be. And on top of that, I'm not only just going to make it outrageous, but I'm going to make it like I'm just going to throw in a bunch of stuff to really shock the holy hell out of you.
Yeah.
And
Mission accomplished.
yeah.
Well, in
Uncensored.
75, right, transvestites were still just like an unspoken of
Yeah.
fetish or.
And that's just the skin of the outrageousness.
Yeah. And then
once you see the movie, you'll understand.
when the movie
It's like
came
more
out,
background after a while.
Yeah, it's like, oh, transvestites old news.
Right.
What is this now?
yeah. And when the movie came out, it bombed everywhere it went.
I can't imagine why.
Oh my God.
Except for one tiny little theater over in New York, where it just kept on playing because people just kept on coming back, and they're just like, this is outrageous. This is a place where I can go, where I can be
Right.
disturbingly crazy and outrageous and not follow what society wants me to do.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I can feel more normal in this environment.
And the movie has never changed, but
Right.
the idea that I can go someplace and I can be what I want to be, and I can just hang out with other people who also want to experiment with whatever they want to be. The movie never changes, but the society and the world, I guess, of Rocky Horror always is evolving.
Yeah.
And that's really is the locomotive of that whole, why does Rocky Horror keep on going?
Yeah.
I don't know, why is it? Everybody else has tried to do another shadow cast of another movie, and they've always felt Showgirls and Sound of Music.
Really?
And yeah, they've tried to do shadow casts of other movies, and they always just kind of peter out. But
Yeah.
Rocky Horror just keeps on going and going and going.
Yes, Rocky Horror is a weird thing because I remember my friends in high school talking about it all the time. Like, this is the best thing. You gotta go see it at the Nuarte. And they're like, all right. Eventually, I broke down. I rented it from Blockbuster, which was a thing back in the day. And I watched it. And I remember sitting there afterwards, like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is what everyone wants to talk about. This movie, from the beginning, with the lips coming out, like, what's happening right now? I was outraged at my friends. Like, how dare you?
And it's a long movie.
Yeah.
For everybody to hype it up, and then you have to sit there for all that time, and
Yeah.
at the end you're just like, what?
Like, there's got to be something better. Oh no, this is happening? Oh, come on, get the fuck out.
The ending is so outrageous
And
that
then-
it's like, oh, I had to sit through all of this for that ending.
What they do is they set something up. Once it settles, here's a new level you have to just get okay with. That settles. Here's another one. You gotta you just have to process it layer by layer, and by then it's like, I don't even know what the fuck is happening.
And you saw the British ending. There's two endings. So
Is there?
there's the British ending and there's the American ending.
Okay.
And the American ending is just like, and the, I'm sorry.
Now, the movie is over 40 years old, so
Honest to
spoilers
God.
do not count. I'm totally fine with it. Go
Yeah,
right
no, but
ahead.
also honest to God, it doesn't matter how much we say now. If you go see it at the Nuarte, it doesn't matter how much you know about the movie. It is a goddamn experience.
I
Yes.
get distracted
Yes,
by all the
it is.
people in underwear. Personally, that's just me.
That's what I meant by experience.
The person that played Frankenfurter, he had his ass out quite a bit. And I told his girlfriend, I go, watch, every time Frankenfurter comes up to like our row and his ass is in Adam's face, Adam goes like this. And sure enough, the next time Frankenfurter's ass came over to Adam, he's just like really nonchalant, just like, yeah.
I get it.
I mean, he was trying to be really polite and not be like, oh, or anything.
Yeah.
Just like casually like looking away, like, yep, this guy's ass there.
All right, here's what really was happening. I was checking if my girlfriend was checking that ass out.
Oh, no, you were not. You were offended by those cheeks in your
No.
face.
I've seen plenty of
What
ass.
he was doing was he was pulling up his phone and trying to take a picture.
Oh, yeah, that
what it
was
was.
it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised. I'm sure you're just trying to play it off for your girlfriend.
That's fine. Totally
Like,
fine.
oh, no, I'm not looking, I swear.
What an outrage.
What an outrage.
No, so you said those two endings.
Yeah.
Because I remember an ending where there's like he's in a theater talking to some to people, and there's like electricity happening.
Oh yeah. So everything that you recall
Yeah.
happens in the American version, except at the very end where it's like, all right, well I've killed everybody. You can leave now.
Yeah.
Spoiler. Everybody
It's
dies.
totally fine.
It's very Shakespearean in that way.
We're going to blow up the castle, and the castle is going to go up into space.
Yeah.
And the castle goes up into space, and then there's a nice song, and then of course the criminologist comes out and has a nice person hold a globe, and
Right.
that's the scene that you remember. In the American version, the castle goes up into space, and that's it. It's done.
Oh,
And then, yep.
What? My whole scene is cut out?
Yeah, gone.
What?
that's
The whole
outrageous.
song and everything.
Welcome to LA. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like I showed up for what?
They're like, this movie's too long already. Just cut it out right here.
But this
Go.
when somebody's drunk and passed out, it's fine.
That probably was about the time
I don't know what you're talking about.
that well, you were drunk, I was
I
passed
still don't
out.
know what you're
Okay,
talking about.
so as a newbie to this, let me ask, you said it's long, and I
Very.
know that they start at midnight, so what is the actual runtime? Is it over 2
Oh
hours?
dear God, oh
Is
dear
it-
God, oh
I
dear
think
God.
we were home by what, 3:30?
Oh.
3?
Really? That was an early night. Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
It didn't feel like it.
Well, first of all, so they start letting people in, and maybe about like what, about 11:45 midnight. So people start coming in at about midnight.
Which is clever, by the way, because on the website it says show starts at 11:59 p.m. Because if you say 12 o'clock and then say Sunday,
Yeah.
that'd freak people out.
Yeah, it's always gotta
wait, is
be,
it Sunday
Saturday
night or
night.
Saturday night? 11:59 Saturday means
Yeah, okay.
be there.
So now everybody's got to
Observation,
get their
Thank you.
popcorn. Everybody's got to get situated, and then there's the pre-show. So you have the MC who comes out and will do his outrageous monologue and remind everybody about what to expect, and then there is an initiation. That
I have
maybe
no
we'll go
idea.
through.
Yes.
Yep. So there was an official initiation. I'm pretty sure you all saw that
Absolutely.
happen.
Yeah,
It
was your
warned
first
them.
time, right?
No, it wasn't mine.
No,
That was my second.
it was Annie's, my
Annie's,
girlfriend.
okay.
Yeah. So he warned Annie, like,
I told her
don't
to sit
stand
down.
up.
So wait, is that a tip? Don't stand up if it's actually your first time?
No, you
Yeah.
should stand up for sure.
Oh, yeah.
In your corset.
And have someone videotaping it, I'm
course.
sure, for the show.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just for documentary purposes.
Before you know it, an hour's gone by, and
Seriously, for initiation?
yeah, and you're just.
It's now 1 in the morning.
What?
There's announcements and things and a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
there's
reminds me of, like,
still.
summer camp. Like all these jokes. Like this guy, like he's just giving this speech and just remind me of summer camp. Like
Yeah.
all the corny jokes. Like he's like the camp counselor, just like, all right, kids,
If you're gonna fall asleep, you're gonna have a bad time.
you'll wake up with dicks on your face. Like, ah.
Yeah.
And then the movie starts. And then, at that, I mean, like the most entertaining part, at least for me, anyways, for the actual show is the whole MC part. That's where like all the really crazy, fun and weird things happen. And then when the actual movie starts, well, then now you're just kind of like in a big what the fuck kind of world. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, movies going and a theater cast
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
getting ready on the sides.
Right.
getting ready to do
Well, it's
scenes in
a
front of it.
three-piece show. It's the movie itself, the cast, and then the audience participation.
Because
Right.
people in the audience are dressed
That's
up as
true.
well, doing their stuff.
But there's also certain lines that
Yes.
everybody has to say out, either out loud in unison or in response to what is actually being said.
Yeah,
This is
and
why I felt a little
Yeah.
overwhelmed about
a little bit of evolution of how like this whole thing happened. When you see the movie, there's a lot of dramatic pauses in it, which they did not exactly plan.
Right.
They just decided to have like a lot of dramatic pauses.
They had to fill the hour and 41 minutes for one time of the.
It's only an hour 41.
Hour 41. Yep.
Felt so
I
much
just
longer.
looked at
Yeah,
it.
it sounds a lot longer.
And so
was
when
like-
audience members would
That's
start
what
to
she
show
said.
up night after night after night, well then they got the brilliant idea to start yelling things out during these little dramatic pauses.
Those are
And
like
so,
soap opera.
yeah. So there's a lot of amusing gags.
It's
What's your
pretty funny.
favorite? What's your favorite one?
My favorite one, and this might be disputed
Yeah.
because, of course,
It's subjective.
yeah, I thought I made it up. I am going to say that I officially made it
Okay.
up. When I first started going to Rocky Horror, and I actually started to really like it and started getting into it, and I heard all these people yelling out all these gags in the middle of the audience, and I
Yeah.
thought to myself, well, I want to be unique, and I want to make up my own. So I started yelling out like my own thing, only to find out like, no, those things are like 15, 20 years old. So, I mean, like there's only so many gags that you can make up about the same thing. So I guess I just rehashed it, but there was one. So there is one character in the movie, and his name is Eddie.
Oh.
He's played
if
by
I ever
Meatloaf.
win dressed up, I have to be Eddie.
Yeah. So
Just based on body type.
Meatloaf He plays a character, Eddie, in the movie.
Bob from Fight Club.
Yes.
Bitch Tits Bob.
Lactating mom, yes.
Yes. And that's actually, that's going to be very, very helpful at this moment. So, spoiler alert, Eddie gets killed in the movie. He's murdered. And Frankenfurter, in a very outlandish way, he grabs onto the tablecloth and he yanks it away to show the coffin of the dismembered corpse of Eddie, Meatloaf, and he's been eaten by everybody who has been sitting at the table. And I would yell out, "His name is Robert Paulson!
Yes.
His name is Robert Paulson!"
I was wondering if there was going to be a Fight Club reference. That's awesome.
So after a while,
Behind that is
Absolutely.
super cool.
and so now
That's
that
a good one.
yeah,
Oh, I love it.
and Fight Club has gotten a little bit dated. So now not a lot of people know who Robert Paulson is. So when you start yelling that out, people are like, I don't know what's going on. So now I'm the criminologist and I do my own little gags. And so I will run into the audience and I'll sit down in the middle of the theater, and when that scene comes up, I'll yell out, "His name is Robert Paulson! His name is Robert Paulson! His name," you see, the whole premise of this whole, and then I'll tell the story of this.
Okay.
And so all these kids are just like listening to me tell this story about why I am telling this AP line.
Well, you're the narrator. I mean,
If it wasn't for me, if it wasn't for the criminologist, nobody would have no idea what's going on. You know, he's the only person who's trying to explain what
the
is
hell?
happening.
Yeah.
As well as the very important dance.
Yeah, he teaches the dance. You would not know how to do this
No,
dance.
you couldn't.
Segway story.
But not only are there musical numbers, which there's a dance too.
There is a dance.
Such
There's
a dance. Such a good dance.
Yeah, there's a little dance. You can learn it.
Oh,
So-
we'll teach you. We'll
We've
teach you.
done it at the bar before, I believe.
Yes, we have.
Even at this bar, I think we've done
Yes,
it.
at this exact bar.
Exact bar.
In fact, in this bar, many times when we're trying to get people out of the bar, when my buddy's a bartender, he's trying to close, we'll put on a regular picture show and we'll all be belting it out as loud as we can, to the point where everyone's like, "What the fuck is happening?"
I cannot think of a better way to clear out a bar than just be like, all right.
Yeah, because this is in Orange County, so if we start singing "Sweet Transvestite," it's like, "Oh, we got to get out."
There is a bar where our friends, they put on another burlesque show. The burlesque show is called What the Fuck's Burlesque.
okay.
And it's at a place called the Canby. And it's a fantastic place. I mean, we're talking about like no windows, you just walk in, you got the regulars who are just like playing pool, and then all of a sudden there is like this burlesque show that happens.
Okay.
And of course they've got their jukebox, and they play all their serious hardcore, you know,
Right.
I'm just here to get drunk kind of music. And I learned that I can play music on that jukebox on the internet.
From the phone.
So yeah, I can pull out my little phone and I can just sit there.
That's how I sabotage this bar.
I know. And so I'll sit there and I'm like, Hanson Christmas special. And all of a sudden, you're sitting there going, "Oh, 2 more beers before I go." Bop, bop, bop. And you see people sitting there playing ball, they're like, "What? This is not the song I put on."
Right. Yeah. We'll do the same thing. We'll do Moulin Rouge, the Elephant Medley. Me and the bartender. We'll do Frozen.
Yeah.
Just clears the bar out. I put some Weird Al
You
as well.
sing Frozen with your male bartender friend?
Yeah. Was that not clear? He's a male.
You do a little duet?
Cowboy. You know
Yeah.
Cowboy.
Okay. Evidence is mounting, man. Evidence
Oh
is mounting.
shit! I forgot about that part. Yep.
That's okay.
Anyway. Yeah, so there's a lot of audience participation, lines you yell out as well. It's a very immersive thing that you just start. Oh, so I'm surprised it took you so long. You see, like 3-4 times before you actually started getting into it. With
Yeah,
with
you know,
your
it
best
took me
friend
a
Ed?
while to get into it, and it was, clearly because the reason that I started really getting into it is because it was a very welcoming environment.
Right.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but what do you mean by getting into it? When you say getting into it, he seemed to know what you're saying. You're like emceeing it, or just part
No.
of the
Well,
cast,
yeah,
or-
it's just
At
like,
the
I
beginning,
guess,
his best friend Ed took him and said, "Come again." No. Sorry, you didn't like
exactly.
it. Come again. Sorry, you didn't like it. Come again.
and you could get into it either by just being an audience member, and we have regular audience members who just come every week. They don't want to be on cast. They don't want to do anything. They just want to come to the show and just hang out and
Be a part of it.
Yeah.
But
It is
those
a-
can be regulars too.
Yeah.
It's a very fun crowd, that's for sure.
Yeah, because like I was saying earlier, when I saw the movie, after hearing about it, I was like, what the fuck? I was very upset. And then I finally got to the show, and after the first viewing, I was like, I get it. I understand completely what this is about now. And it became a thing like, all right. So we went a couple more times through high school. It's been a while. We went back again 2 weeks ago.
And you still haven't dressed up.
Yeah, well, I was on my deathbed for 2 days in a row before that. Because I have the Jon Snow wig, which I use for Jon Snow costume, which can very easily transfer to Frankenfurter.
And look at his face. He looks like Tim Curry.
Okay, you know what? Now that you say that,
I did it right.
I want him to wear the corset and everything, but I know that's pushing it. So I'm like, okay, wear the pearls and the you know, the, what do you call it, the scrubs?
Yeah,
whatever it-
I'm going to
the-
pull up a picture, which I'll put down here for a second. I just want to show Charles. Keep talking about yourself.
Okay.
oh, segue. So, you reminded me of yet another story. But, and again, involving my best friend in the whole wide world, Ed Reed. We went out to, see, look at that.
And for the
Yeah, that's pretty uncanny.
it'll be right here.
Yes. Where's my? Oh, okay.
Wowzers.
There was a brand new cast that was starting up in Modesto, California. And it was a huge thing. Radio came out, newspapers, television shows came out. It's like the first time ever Rocky Horror Picture Show is being shown in Modesto, California, where they have an actual cast that will be performing live here in Modesto, California. You know, news at 11.
Now, Bob in traffic.
So we want to go out. We want to support this new cast, and we all go out
Modesto?
To Modesto, California, and we're sitting in the audience, and everybody, this whole theater is completely sold out. And out front, there's like news vans.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the whole audience, the whole show is going crazy, and you know, people are screaming profanities and
Right.
so forth, and the whole audience is like,
Oh.
they have no idea what is supposed to happen. So us who are Rocky regulars, we start screaming out lines.
Okay.
And everybody's like, oh, that was rather amusing. And they said something. And so now it's time for like the first dance scene. And in the first dance scene, everybody, the whole theater
Yes.
gets up and they're all supposed to dance.
Supposed to.
It's supposed to. So
You're taught how to dance.
yeah, so
You put your hands on your hips, right?
Yeah.
It's not there?
something
first,
like that.
it's
I
just
can't
a
remember how
jump
it
to the
goes.
left,
Oh,
and then
okay.
a step to the right.
Oh, just a step.
Then you put your hands on your hips.
Do you?
Bring your knees in tight.
Oh, I can't do that.
See, if it wasn't for the movie giving me prompts, I would have no idea how to do any of this
Pelvic
stuff.
thrust.
I can do
You
that.
know, I've only been doing this, since I can't remember.
It'll drive you insane.
You know, I can't do the dance at all. And so, Ed, he just turns to me and he goes, "Nobody is getting up. This is absolutely unacceptable."
Right.
And so he jumps up in the middle of the audience and he starts yelling at everybody, "Get up! Get out of your seats! It's time to do the time warp. What's wrong with you? Everybody!" And so you see people and they all start to kind of like, "Are we supposed to get up?" So they all get up. And he goes, "We're gonna do the dance now." So he teaches everybody how to do this dance. And then he goes, and then he has to tell everybody to sit down. Everybody sit down now, sit down. So he sits down. Now it's an optional thing, is that some casts do it, some casts don't, but there is another dance scene for Hot Patootie when Eddie comes
okay.
out. And so Hot Patootie starts out,
Right.
and Ed looks around, and nobody is doing the dance. So he steps back up and he starts yelling at everybody, "Get back up! It's time to do the dance! It's the Hot Patootie! Get up!" And so everybody is like, "Oh, we're supposed to." So they all get up and he teaches them to dance. And then he sits down. Now, those are the only two big dance scenes.
Right.
You know, for the rest of that, you just do whatever you want. And then there is the dinner scene that comes up. And the dinner scene is, by and large, considered the most boring scene.
It
and
was.
so
I think that's when I fell asleep.
no.
I'm pretty sure that's when I nodded off. I was like, there's no talking.
A lot of casts will just kind of like make up something, else to do or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a long, sad, drawn out song in the middle of this. And my best friend in the whole wide world, Ed Reed, he turns to me and he goes, "What if I just jumped up and told everybody it's time to do the dinner scene?"
That's great.
I like it.
And I was just like, "No, there's no way that would happen." He goes, "I bet you $1. I bet you $1 that I can get everybody in the audience to start doing the dinner scene dance. I'm like, all right, $1 it is. And so he jumps up and he goes like, everybody, get up, it's time for the dinner scene dance. And at this point, everybody's like, oh, okay. So they all just stood up and did nothing. And Ed is just yelling at him, there is no dinner scene dance. No, I was just joking. You can sit down and you can see people going, and then he just sat down and he just turned to me and he goes like, you owe me $1. And I looked behind me and people just like, I don't.
Oh, that'd been great.
He was the puppet master at that
It's time for
point.
the dinner scene, everybody.
I don't know how you could have underestimated Ed Reed at this point, considering he made you come back to this show numerous times when
Yeah.
you didn't want to,
Ed is the
and
ultimate
now you're
salesman.
in the show.
He's amazing.
I have a zombie apocalypse plan. Everybody has a zombie apocalypse plan. You know, it's like, oh, well, I'd go up to the North Pole. I was like, oh, I'd go out, you know, to tanker ocean or something like that.
I'll just die.
Big
Yeah,
five.
Yeah.
That's where I go.
I just give up.
Ed, he moved out to Pennsylvania, and so my plan is to find Ed. Right. That is it. I'm just going to go straight to wherever Ed is. By the time that I get to him, he has probably already created like a little society.
With him and Hank.
You know,
Totally.
he'll need an enforcer.
Right. No,
you know.
I just picture him on top of a van. Zombies go that way. You have to go that way.
Yeah.
Zombie dance.
Brains that way.
Right.
Just a mile to the left.
Don't you dare step to the right.
All right, Steph. Oh man.
Are you going to the bartenders now?
Yeah, I could.
There's also, I was thinking of checking out the bar's bathroom.
All right, yeah, go ahead. Check out the bathroom.
All right, cool. You guys carry on. Talk about any spoilers that you don't want to ruin for me. I want to make sure I turn my mic off so you don't catch on my business.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, Rocky Horror is amazing. I love it. I love the whole vibe of it. It was fun. I apologize for what happened after the show. I don't know what that was exactly.
What happened?
I apologize for
I blacked out. I mean,
Oh, thank God.
So-
Same page.
You're lucky.
I woke up with a dick on my face.
Oh, shit.
It's like, man, that has not happened in a long time.
Yeah, no, it was a very fun night, and I'll be taking more people. We try to get more people to go that night.
You need to dress up.
If
It is a waste of your
I'm
Tim
not
Curry
about to
looking
die.
face to not dress
Yeah,
up.
you're right. No,
I know, we need to get you dressed up as Tim Curry.
I went to 2 different places on the way out to try to find the scrubs. Or no, it's not even scrubs. It's an operating smock.
Right.
Because I found plenty of scrubs, but not the smock.
Not the
and
green.
I will not do it incorrectly.
The one that I had, so I played Frankenfurter for a good 7 years.
What?
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know,
Nice.
true story. And my costume,
Your ass cheeks were hanging out too?
full on.
That
Wow.
takes so many balls. I wish I had the balls to do it. I'll do the smock and that's it. I'm not gonna do the. I'm not gonna. There's a whole lot of outfit changes that I do not feel comfortable getting into.
I started out as Rocky, and Rocky is a big doofus in the whole show. And it was
Right.
great.
Yeah.
I can act like a complete and utter doofus.
Okay.
And that's what I did for years and years and years. I was Rocky, and I acted like a complete and total moron, and had
Right,
lots of fun.
He doesn't even really speak.
No, he doesn't.
Just kind of grunt.
Right, he just grunts and
Yeah.
looks awesome.
He's
Yeah,
Neanderthal.
he
And
definitely.
I couldn't do that myself personally. I had to kind of ramp it up. So I had my own little gags and so forth.
Okay.
And there was one night on the cast that I was on at the time, Bodycast, and there was a former Frankenfurter who had shown up, and our director turns to me and has introduced me to this former Frankenfurter, and he says, "Oh, and this is our current Rocky Horror," and goes, "Oh, that's interesting. I thought you were a Frankenfurter." And I said, "No, that's a laugh. Oh yes, how do you do? I see you've met my yeah, like I could do that, right?" And he goes, and our cast.
I think I could do the singing.
Yeah.
It's just not the appearance that I can pull off.
He's a big karaoke guy, so that's why he thinks he can do the singing. And he busts out of the bar all the time, so yeah.
I've been told by many people, "Shut up." I mean, they liked it.
That's the horrible thing about like karaoke down here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Up in the Bay Area, I love karaoke because everybody is bad and I can be bad. We can all be bad together.
Here they're not. I cried after I went up there because I was so bad.
Yeah.
Everybody is auditioning for the next, X Factor or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there might be a talent agent out there somewhere.
Yeah.
They're winking out there to the audience as they're belting out this next song. I'm like, I don't want to go up after that.
Yeah, no, the karaoke that used to be from back in the day, that's called karaoke now. That's the people that are just doing it for fun.
Oh,
Okay.
I bring that back.
Versus the professionals that are just, like you said,
Yeah.
auditioning. Yeah.
So it's hard to find those little karaoke hole in the walls where everybody gets to be bad.
Yeah.
Oh, now for Rocky Horror, do they have to have a great singing voice? Because
No.
some of them are just lip syncing.
It's all lip
pretty much,
syncing.
right?
You know,
Oh,
there
okay.
are the people who will actually like state the lines and they'll sing, but it's usually a little bit under their breath.
Okay,
Is
that's kind of what I noticed, because I think if I were to play a character, I'd have to kind of say the words under my breath. Just,
Yeah.
you know, just...
Because at a certain point, it starts taking away from the movie and it starts making it about you, which is not, I think, the experience of it. That's what I would think. I don't
Could
know.
be right.
Which I can totally understand.
Yeah.
I have been accused of that myself.
But it's you're supposed to just enjoy the experience of it, though. It doesn't matter to me. Depending how late in the show it is.
There was a time when I would do a lot of gags because like Rocky Horror, as I started as Rocky Horror, he was a pretty boring character,
Right.
and so I made a lot of gags, and our director would turn to me and say, "Going, hey, you need to kind of like tone it down. You're kind of like disrupting
is that right?
the other actors." And in me, I was just like, "No, the audience loves me. I'm just going to keep on doing whatever I feel like doing."
You're just jealous.
And when I moved over to Frankenfurter, a lot of the newer cast members who started to do Rocky Horror, they saw the gags I did and they copied them and they started doing themselves. And when they started doing it and they started disrupting my act, I'm like, I
was that asshole.
I was
Oh,
that guy. So I learned to tone it down a little bit. Until I became criminologist. And
Okay.
criminologist doesn't have to be with anybody. You know, he doesn't interact with anybody.
Right.
That's true.
So
Okay.
I can just do whatever horrible thing I want to do until they just say, that's it, you're off cast. I'm sorry. That was too far.
Right.
And I was like, fine. You know,
Grab your neck and take it. I mean,
I'm going to take my neck and leave.
yeah.
That's the cast's neck. Excuse me.
No, are you in charge of that production that we saw?
No, not
Okay,
at all.
no.
I'm just one of the cast members. So we do have our directors, Carrie and Beth.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
And did you ever want to be more than just one of the characters? Do you want to like do a production at all?
God, no.
Okay. I would think it would be like herding cats with the cast members I saw, like, because a lot of them were getting pretty drunk and just squirrely. And when I went up and held the globe, there was quite the shit show behind me with some of the cast members. I'm like, oh my God, I can never direct these
It's a big
people.
night, though, right?
It was a big night
Yeah.
because Chris Carrillo, our Rocky Horror, who we loved and adored, and it was his final night.
After like 10 years, right? Is that what you guys said?
Has it been 10 years? for him?
I don't know.
I
There was
believe that's
definitely-
what they
He
said.
was on cast before I showed up.
9.
So yeah,
9.
it's gotta
Okay.
be.
Well, 10, 9.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, I meant to say no. It wasn't 10. It was
9. he goes into that bilingual stuff, trilingual, quadrilingual, whatever. But
Clever.
just so I have an idea how many shows that is, how many shows per month?
Well, no, it's every Saturday night. So
It is so it's 4 times.
52 a year then.
Yep.
Unless there's a Christmas. I
then
assume
9
Christmas
years,
New Year's
so
might maybe.
Yeah, so there's
400.
actually for Halloween there's about 3 shows, so you
Oh,
get
wow.
extra.
Oh, Jesus.
And then there's still we'll still do like a New Year's show and a Christmas show, so there are no breaks. You just keep on going. And then on top of that, there's every now and then we'll be asked to go off site and do a show somewhere else.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Now, do you guys
that's
get
fun.
paid to do any of this? No, it's all on your own
It's all
time.
volunteer.
And
Right.
the theater gets all the money from like people that purchase tickets.
They let us go in and.
Do you have to rent a space even to
No,
do this?
no,
Oh, thank God, at least for that.
Yeah, so it's a nice little symbiotic relationship.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I know me alone, like, okay, you bought my ticket, but then I went up and bought a couple beers and
Mm-hmm.
snacks and all this crap.
Yeah.
Like, so they really profit off of having the Rocky Horror.
I certainly hope so. I mean, the Nuarte is a wonderful venue. We're very lucky to have it. A lot of theaters are just like, oh no, I don't know if I want to have the Rocky Horror. Oh, I heard
Yeah.
stories about the Rocky Horror
Right.
Picture Show.
You know, I find that with roller derby too.
Is
Like
that
some
right?
rinks, like, will not have roller derby there whatsoever because
No.
we're rowdy.
Okay.
And like the Rocky Horror Show, it's a little bit rowdier of a.
It's a different bunch.
cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could see like why they wouldn't
Takes a
want.
different kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wouldn't want their nice stage and stuff to be all
Right.
messed up.
And the New Art seems like a bastion of like kind of old school theater in a place that just is being gentrified on Santa Monica Boulevard. So, I mean, that's what I've
It's a
noticed.
different area from when I remember going back when I was in high school. Going to the Nuarte in that area, it seems nicer, I guess, than it did way back in that time period.
Well, Japan, was Japantown then? Japantown a thing then?
Japantown, Little Tokyo.
Is that what? No. You know, the Sawtell Santa Monica thing. As you go down south on Sawtell, you have the whole Japantown.
I'm from Orange County.
I've never heard of it.
Okay.
I don't even like driving to this bar here in LA. It gets a little hairy sometimes. I'm like, oh, there's the exit. Damn.
I noticed a lot of the new establishments have been catering to that, and it's like a lot of the like shaved ice places or the curry places.
There's shaved ice places?
Curry of Tokyo.
Yeah, the Tim Curry places.
All the Tim Curry shops.
All right.
Bartender liked that one.
That person gets it.
There's yeah, man. I want to keep talking about horror, but we spent a lot of time on it already. I do want to ask, have you heard of The Room, the movie The Room?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because that's been related to now as the modern day Rocky Horror. Because they do have audience shows that you go to watch The Room, and it's participation based. You're throwing spoons or whatever. You're getting all crazy with it. Have you seen The Room? Did you have any kind of?
I have seen The Room, and I've seen the Disaster Artist.
Okay.
And a lot of us in the Rocky, like I saw The Room because a lot of our Rocky friends were like, we have got to see this movie.
It is horrible.
And we had a nice party and sat down and watched this movie. And yes, it is a unique movie, to say the least.
Unique, as in nothing like it ever.
It's like, where's our bartender?
Oh yeah. I'll switch up, man.
So, do you do any other type of acting outside of the Rocky Horror Show?
I am the MC for the Hollywood Jane Revue, which is a burlesque show.
Oh,
Nice.
wouldn't happen to be this show right here because I wanted to.
Where did you get one of those guys?
There. You know what? This is something I've been following for a while.
For you guys to see it better, Adam will put it right, right here, right there.
HollywoodJaneRevue.com.
I'm very excited about this.
Yeah. So what's up with that?
So we perform over at the Rockwell Table and Stage.
Wow.
Usually have a show about once a month.
That's cool.
Our next show here, we always have like a different themed night that is going on, and currently our next one is going to be science fiction. Dedication to all of your science fiction fandom desires, secret wishes.
Oh, I love it.
Wow.
See, when I first saw the poster for this, I saw science fiction, and I thought this is another Rocky Horror thing. Is this a science fiction double feature? That's the opening line.
Amusingly enough, we actually had a Rocky Horror tribute show.
You?
Yeah.
Damn it.
It was nice because I didn't have to do any other type of different costuming. I was like, I'm the criminologist. I get to come out. I get to host the show.
How great is that? How great is hosting a show like this?
It is wonderful. It is nerve-wracking and wonderful, and I'm pretty sure, if anybody who's like hosting a show.
Oh yeah.
Anything can happen at any given moment, and
It's adapt.
And you got to adapt, and everybody needs to try and come up with a way to be able to kind of like stand out.
Right.
I had learned very, very early that I'm not a very good MC.
Was that
at
right?
all. I'm horrible. I'm absolutely horrible. But either
So come see the show that he's hosting.
Yes, I'm
There you go.
You're being way too hard on yourself, or else you wouldn't have the job.
Yeah, nobody goes to a burlesque show to see the MC. I was like, the girls were nice, but did you see the MC?
Right,
Oh my gosh, he was on fire.
That's what I was thinking. Like that's the least pressure situation because no matter what you say, it doesn't matter. Like, hey, so blah blah blah. Here come the girls.
Yeah,
Pretty much, yeah.
and that is my job, And then every now and then, like a little something will come up, and that's when I get the deer in the headlights kind of moment. You're just like, are we ready yet? All right, and here's our next performer. So that's what you're going to be prepared for when you come out to Science Fiction, March 20th. That's what you're going to see. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, that's coming up soon.
Very soon.
All right.
Yeah. It's like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
About.
Now, does the audience dress up for this or just? the
This is
burlesque?
you can business casual, whatever you like.
Okay.
Can we cosplay? Can people cosplay if they want to go?
Most certainly. If you really want to, well, then of course.
So will you be like the only one in the crowd that?
No, actually, I've seen. So we have other shows. We have Jurassic Peak.
Jurassic Peak.
Jurassic Peak.
Okay.
Yep. We have Rack to the Future.
No!
Nice.
I don't know if I want to see some Doc Brown with some double D's. That's a little confusing to me, but okay.
Doc Brown.
Yeah.
And I personally, I really get excited when I see people who show up to our burlesque show in a costume. Because
All right.
clearly, I mean, like, they're not only there, but they're excited to be there.
Oh yeah.
So
I see how Cyberman on these postcards, so I might be the doctor. as
So
I-
that's-
Right, so
Cyberman-
it sounds like you'd really like to see more.
Is the person on the far
more of
left-
The fans
Is
dressed
that
up.
Ripley from Aliens?
Yes.
That is, okay.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
I hope
This is
so.
just every nerd's fantasy come true.
So many
I'm
good things.
I'm thinking of
that's the thing.
Friends with Princess Leia.
Yeah, because the theme is it's nerd based.
Yes.
That's where the science fiction comes in.
Yes.
But burlesque. So everybody wins here.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Friends with Ross, how his fantasy is Princess Leia? That's what I'm thinking of right now. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. No, I'm excited about this, and I'm definitely going to this.
And for ours, it's Darth Vader. So you get to see Darth Vader, you know, doing a little Darth Vader-y kind of thing.
All right. See, but the thing about burlesque, though, it's I mean, there's sexuality as it, but it's not like a strip show. It's not like a full-on sex thing. It's just from my perception of it, it's more of a art.
And when you kind of look into the history of burlesque, that's kind of like how it all started. You know,
Okay.
everybody was just like, oh, it's dark and seedy, and it's like, oh, it's gonna be, you know, sitting here in the shadows and drinking my drink and watching a lady, you know, take off her clothes. And it's like, oh, I saw
Trench coat
ankle.
and his dark glasses.
Right, I mean,
Right. What is going on here?
But burlesque, especially in the early 20s, when it really started to kind of like hit its heyday, it started to become more of, I wouldn't say like a lampoon, but more of like a comedy, humorous.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, fun thing. Like
Okay.
it's like, you know what?
Like-
it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be all trench coat.
Yeah.
I can come out and I can just have a good time.
It's like a vaudeville kind
Yeah.
of like.
I think Benny Hill attributed to that or contributed to
Okay.
that quite a bit. So he had the and then it was funny. It was more entertaining and uplifting rather than seedy or sexual.
The first time I ever saw any kind of burlesque was I was in Vegas actually. It was Treasure Island, I think, at some sort of bar, and they had the girls dancing behind the bar and then on the side stages. But it wasn't like it wasn't a sexual thing. It wasn't titillating. It was just like it was nice to look at. Like
Yeah.
this is nice. It was a classy way to present that type of show that I thought like, all right.
I'll
I
look
like
at
this
those
a lot.
boobs. I'll put my
Yeah.
pinky up
No,
for
no,
those
no,
boobs.
no, because that's the thing. There's no nudity.
There's no
Exactly.
nudity.
So
Yeah.
on that note, I would say that it takes more class and like education talent to dance as a burlesque dancer than any like bikini bar or strip club you go to where all they're doing is just moving to the music. Whereas this is about creative concealing and also seductiveness to it that you just don't have.
am always impressed. First of all, I'm not allowed to sit in on any of the rehearsals, and I mean like
As an
rehearsal.
MC, even you can't.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it does get a little nerve-wracking every now and then because things will switch around all the time. For an MC, anyway. Shows will be switched around, or acts will be switched around. Something will be taken out and put back in, or we'll have a guest performer at the last second. Many times, I might not even get like a lineup about 40 minutes before the show.
Okay.
wow.
And you're just like, okay, here we go. Let me go up on stage and
right.
do this.
No preparation.
Oh, it gets a little nerve-wracking, but
Yeah, I can't imagine what that's like.
yeah.
You know what? But also without without seeing the artists or anything prepped, so you're just getting a small blurb on what they are. Because I mean, you have to hype them up and introduce them.
Yeah,
I mean, you're given
yeah.
the
And so yeah, I definitely
Yeah, but
get that.
Here's some girl in some costume.
exactly. You have to be familiar somehow. I mean,
Well, yeah, and a lot of our performers, they're regular performers. We are a big community. There's a lot of different venues. There's a lot of different shows, but a lot of us, we all just kind of move and perform with other venues. So Peep Show and What the Fuck and all of a sudden, all of the other ones, for all of our dear friends in the burlesque community, who I cannot think of at the moment, and I apologize profusely.
That's fine. It happens to people sometimes.
Yeah, alcohol.
The cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
They put so much incredible hard work into making their own costumes and choreographing
That's
their
impressive as
own.
hell.
That's really impressive.
And everything has to be just perfect.
There's in the cosplay community, there's a group called the Geek and Sundry, which is the same kind of concept. They custom make all of the costumes for themselves, and they have booths at all the Comic Cons where they even, I think, do some repairs to some of these costumes. But a lot of that stuff is very detailed. It's also very specific because everybody's built differently. So depending on what kind of costume you want to have on, they need to custom fit it.
Yeah. That is something that we could talk on length, because that is actually cosplay community. I work in plastics,
Right.
I used to be an apprentice to an armor smith way back in the day.
Is that right?
That is
Armorsmith
true.
even?
Yeah,
Jesus
armor
Christ.
smith. Yes.
So you've been making things your entire life.
I have been making
in different
settings.
The very last episode, we had a cosplay enthusiast.
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It is absolutely fascinating to see the evolution of cosplay. Before the world of YouTube, before you could just I was like, oh, I want to know how to make this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. All right, well now I'm an expert in this after 15 minutes of watching this video.
That's how I felt when I made my Jon Snow costume. I made it. I made it all from scratch myself. I bought the materials. I
The
cut things
picture
out.
will have to be right.
No, that is a great
Jon
picture.
Snow. That is a
And
great
everybody can see it now. That's awesome.
Fantastic. But that was very amateur level. These people take it to crazy extreme.
I kind of feel like I was like one of the very last of the persons who's just like, oh, so you want to learn how to do such and such, do you? Well, I happen to know of an old craggly man who lives up on top of a mountain. Right. It's only 8 miles from here. Who might be able to give you a tidbit of information? And I would climb up that mountain through the snow and open up ancient tomes over the libraries.
In order to cross the bridge, you must answer him his questions 3.
No, I just Googled it.
Yeah. And I'm a little bit jealous.
Okay.
A little bit. I was like, oh, I can't believe what the kids these days. But at the same time, it took me 10 years to learn everything that I have learned, how to be masterful in the plastic fabrication, how to build armor, how to help cosplayers do what they want to do. And at the same time, these cosplayers, where they just go online and they watch a video and then they make something extraordinary, beautiful. And I look at that stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was amazing.
And the creativity.
And you did an awesome job.
Yeah, the creativity that goes into some of them, because you have to figure out exactly what to make it out of, how to make it to suit you or whatever. And some of the things they do, I'm just like, wow, that was super creative. Whatever they came up with.
Jen, your teammate's name?
Links.
Lynx, who was here.
Yeah.
She was here 2 weeks ago, and I was asking her about the functionality and wearing this stuff, and I was like, instead of plastic or it's all carved out of foam these days for the wearability and all that.
Because they have to move, they have to walk and stuff.
And wear it without being squeaky and leather and all this stuff and just being super hot. But so not only was I impressed with that, but when I went to WonderCon last year, which is also coming up in a couple weeks,
Very soon.
this cosplay person made a Maleficent thing, and she was telling us how it was out of turkey feathers and not crow feathers, and all the feathers were put the right way on it. I was just so impressed.
Does she have a day job? I mean, I don't think I have the time to do this.
It was unbelievable the amount of work that went into her cosplay. I was just blown away. Yeah, turkey feathers all facing the right way for these wings that were just breathtaking when you look at them.
Wow.
Because when I did the whole Jon Snow thing, it's it looked good, but I can't wear it for more than 10 minutes because of all the goddamn leather. It's too hot, it's sweaty.
Right.
The wig even, I can't handle it.
I would wear suits of armor, over at a convention or something like that, and I'm like, yeah, I look great, but it's a suit of armor.
start wasting weight at some point?
Yeah.
Quick, take the picture.
Take the damn picture for God's sake! Because they would pose you and like, oh, this is great. I love this. Could you stand in this position? Sure, no problem.
Right.
Okay, hold on one moment. Hold on.
Oh, the lens caps. Oh, sorry.
Oh wait, no.
Oh, that was a selfie. My bad. All right, next one.
Okay, let me do it. Let me do one with flash. I'm like, I'm gonna die. Before I die, I'm gonna kill you. Take the damn picture.
No, and I totally got it when I was at Comic-Con San Diego last year. I was like, oh my God, that's so great. Aquaman, Wonder Woman, can I get a picture? Like, I'm way too tired from wearing the armor all day. We're just like relaxing right now. I'm like, oh, totally fine. Like, take it easy, relax, because yeah, that looks like a big headache to like wear around all day. People just saying like, you look awesome, let's take pictures, and you feel an obligation to.
Do you remember when that T-Rex outfit came out, or everybody was wearing that thing? So that was like big with like roller derby people too. Like they put skates on and they'd have that T-Rex outfit.
Yep.
And it just the functionality of it like wasn't so great. So they'd be skating around and you know it comes with like a fan to blow in there.
Yeah.
But you still get sweaty as hell, I guess, because like these girls did. Yeah. Like that. And then some of them the fan would go out and they're like, fuck, dude. And like they'd go and do a trick, and I know that took out like at least 2 of the T-Rex costumes.
Oh no.
Like they jumped, fell, and just not.
T-Rex.
It's just done. And it's like, wow, that was my $200 that I just spent on a T-Rex outfit.
Duct tape. I need duct tape.
Right?
It's fine.
Where's that patch that came with it?
Well, you can get like camel duct tape now. Maybe you can get reptile skin on the duct tape.
Right, I
Just
would be surprised.
patch that shit up.
Oh, is that how you do it for your cosplay?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Were you just a bunch of duct tape?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sure. Oh, so this whole burlesque thing you do, is it something your wife's involved in?
Yes. So Blanche Bourgeois, who is the producer of Hollywood Jane Revue, I am merely the MC. All I do is just get up on stage and
She's
say,
Hollywood Jane?
Yes, so she started Hollywood Jane. She started it, actually started up in the Bay Area.
Okay.
And then we brought it down to Los Angeles. And for a while, we were just kind of like getting acclimated and so forth. And I personally kind of like missed the whole burlesque world.
Okay.
And I thought it was pretty much, just kind of like, oh, we're retired now, oh well. And then one day, she's like, I've decided, I think we're going to start, let's look into doing more of the, burlesque thing. Should we change it to another name or something? I'm like, no, Hollywood Jane Revue. I love that name. Let's keep it.
Yeah.
And we started out in a very, very small venue, Cafe Marika. A little shout out to Cafe Marika, who gave us our start. It was a beautiful, tiny little place, and we really didn't know what to expect. Our first show was Wizard of Oz themed, as kind of like,
nice.
we've been blown into this new world.
Okay. That's
It was a
cool.
wonderful, wonderful show, and we did not know what to expect. How many people, and we sold out. We sold out amazingly. We sold out to the point where people had to stand up and look through the door, like they couldn't actually get in through the door.
Nice.
And that was a pretty uplifting experience.
Wow.
Right.
Then we moved over to Bar Lubitsch, which is a pretty neat little venue as well. If you ever,
place,
that is a pretty darn cool place.
Do
And
they have a link we can put it on our page?
Bar Lubitsch?
yeah. And then from Bar Lubitsch, we then went over to the Rockwell Table and Stage. And the Rockwell Table and Stage has been very, very good to us. It's a nice, large venue. And it's right next to the Dresden. You were talking about the Dresden
Yes.
earlier. And for other things, they have Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, I love it, Jeff Goldblum.
Yep, Jeff Goldblum. He plays the piano there.
Is that right?
That is, yep. And so, yeah, I get to be up on a stage. I have never actually seen Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, man.
He finds a way.
He's a very
To avoid,
elusive.
he finds a way to avoid me. I will get you, Jeff. I will get you. It will happen.
Well, eventually you just gotta be a fly in the Jeff Goldblum.
So we have a Jurassic Peak show, and it's just like one day we will have Jeff Goldblum come over in a trench coat, in a hat. Oh, I'm just here to I'm just here to see a show.
show, which you might call show. Oh, good stuff. So, what's that like? Oh, you want to ask a question?
I didn't want to interrupt. No, go
All right,
ahead.
fine. So, working with your wife then at a burlesque, does that cause a challenge? I imagine that'd be like.
So at the very beginning, I tried very, very hard, is that she is the producer.
Okay.
And a lot of times, when you have like husband and wife, and one is the producer, and so it's like, oh well, sure, like your spouse gets all the favoritism.
Okay.
It's like, sure, he gets all the special treatment or whatever.
Oh wow, I didn't even think about that part of it. I was just thinking about the being surrounded by women.
Oh, that.
Constantly
Yeah,
clown all the time.
no, they
That's
could.
where my mind went too.
They personally could care less about that. They're like, oh,
yeah?
Charles is here now, whatever. But I wanted to turn to Blanche, and I told her, look, I am your cast member,
Okay.
and I will follow your rules. And if it needs to be done a certain way, and you don't like how I'm doing it, just tell me, or heaven forbid, I am just, not up to snuff or whatever, and you need somebody else, then, you can cut me.
That was probably a lot more conducive than my approach would have been. You Hollywood Jane, me Hollywood Tarzan. So I'm glad you went your route because it seems like it's been a lot more.
But yeah, she is the producer. She does all the advertisement. She does all of it. The closest thing that I really do to is that I MC it, and I do the artwork. So
Oh, nice.
so the little flyers, and that's all me. Yeah, I did all
Yeah,
that.
very nice.
Well, thank you.
All right.
A little bit of
It's
1997 Photoshop artwork there.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought Photoshop back in 1997, and that is it. And
Okay.
I've been using that version since.
And we dissected this before, but I mean, so
Yeah.
so it's Aliens, original Aliens Ripley, then you got the original Khan.
Original Con.
Yes,
Right?
not the
Ricardo
Cumberbatch.
Montalban,
I
and
don't
then,
know who that person is.
I'm gonna assume that that's
It's Black Mask. Oh, Black Mask, Jet Li.
Black Mask, Jet Li. That's it. Okay.
Yeah. Black Mask.
That's
I
science
want to say
fiction,
James
right?
Earl Jones, but not as sexy, burlesquist. Okay.
Simba. That's it. Okay. Yeah.
Mufasa.
Mufasa. I'm sorry. I got those two mixed up.
That's okay. I confused the cyber woman for a Dalek. So, but and she's from Overwatch, not Overwatch.
That is from Bioshock.
Bioshock.
Bioshock Infinite, and that is Blanche Bourgeois. That's right there.
Was that right? She's the Cyberman?
No. That from Bioshock.
Oh,
right there.
Bioshock. All right.
And then last but not least, well, then we have
Yeah, it's
Lana
Doctor Who. That's,
Entendre.
But you put this all
is just
together.
like a nerd's wet dream
The
come true.
Right.
composition.
That's what
wise.
I'm
All I do is I mainly do any type of the artwork that Blanche asks me to
Before
do.
Jen blacks out from all the nerd talk, these are also.
Like, my eyes glaze
can't
over
pay
right now.
attention,
I just saw like a nerd's wet dream coming true right here. I'm like,
But also
okay.
understand, all these characters we're talking about are women that are going to be.
No, I understand. And I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We
I'm just
do-
not like, ooh, look at who this is. Oh, from the comic book, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I feel like.
He's from comic books, Jen.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Nerd-related things. I'm just like, damn, it's a hot chick in some sort of outfit.
I want to get inside her TARDIS. You know, it's bigger on the inside than the
Wow.
outside. Okay, that was horrible. That was horrible.
We do have our burlesque performers as well.
Yes. Is that right?
Yeah. So we'll.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So it's equal opportunity.
Yes.
All right. Fantastic.
Do you have a flyer for that one? I'm just confused in life.
All I have to do is check out HollywoodJaneRevue.com.
Right.
And,
Which will be here.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, look us up online and
Okay.
see some of our burlesque and boylesque performers that we may
I've
have.
never heard of that term, boylesque.
Burlesque, yep.
Okay.
I never heard that.
The
either.
less popular one.
Yeah. That's fine. I mean, whatever works. It's fine. It happens. Just because I had to do this for the Rocky Horror Picture Show doesn't mean anything.
So, Charles, as a kind of amateur to burlesque show attendees, is there usually like a headliner, or is it like everyone gets sort of equal credit to the show they're doing?
I kind of feel that everybody gets a little bit of equal.
There's no like opener
Yeah,
versus.
We will have guest performers. We'll have people from out of town, or we'll have somebody from another venue come out and perform, and we'll give them a good shout out. So yeah, but do want to kind of feel I really feel that all of the performers, they put in so much heart and soul and effort into their acts that I do want to try and make sure that everybody gets kind of like a little extra or equal.
Sure.
Yeah.
So nobody's like stealing the show.
Right.
Okay.
Got it.
Unlike
So the last performer isn't necessarily the best or headliner. It just happens to be. That's the way they're going up.
yeah, I would say it's just like sometimes it may be just like simply it's just like okay, well then this is simply our last act, or maybe we'll have like a group act to kind of like finalize the whole show.
I could see that. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Well, I mean, thanks for hanging out with us. It's been quite a pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me. This was
It's been good times,
very
right?
fun day. Yeah.
Yeah. So much Rocky Horror Picture Talk, which I'm excited about. Because it's not very often you can have these kind of conversations with somebody. I wish more people knew about it. I wish more people knew about it in the way of like the Nuarte Theatre kind of way. People that may have seen the movie, they don't understand it, like I did at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like you did at the
Or
beginning.
I didn't understand it either.
Right.
And
Pretty popular.
20 years later.
Like when I told my mom we were going, she goes, "Oh yeah, that was back in my day too. I went to that
that
one
right?
time. Yeah, like." And
I guarantee my parents have no idea what this is.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
And
no,
my-
maybe
anybody in
it's
my family.
I don't know. My mom was born and raised in Southern California, and I think like she's like, "Oh yeah, they used to have one." I think in Santa Ana or whatever, and I've been to one in Santa Ana. I think she said the one she went to was in Santa Ana too, like 25 years ago or 20 years ago, something like that. So
Yeah.
I think it's like the thing to do sometimes, like at least once in your life.
It's an experience. I tell everybody at
It is
least
an
once
experience.
you have to experience it.
Right. And we're
Well,
gonna
I
see
want
him
to.
experience.
Considering what you guys have said, I definitely want to.
Oh,
That
we're
gets
going.
on my
You can fall asleep,
bucket
it's okay.
list.
You'll just end up.
You just wake
holding
up with a dick on your head.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you'll just end up holding.
Wouldn't be the
hand.
first time in my life.
Just your typical Saturday night for Joel.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming though.
Before we go, I wanted to ask, what is up with the shirt? Sorry, Charles, didn't mean to take the job. No,
let
but
me step down.
this shirt's been grabbing my attention all day. What is this?
Well, I got it for
Renegade?
Christmas.
Let's see.
It was from my family.
Yes. What is that pattern, Adam?
It's just like it's tic-tac-toe on acid.
Oh.
But seriously, who are the Renegade Roller Girls of Tucson, and why are you wearing their shirt?
Well, because I play roller derby. I know
Yes,
that's shocking to everybody here.
Little Lady Killer.
Lil.
I'm a fan
Oh.
club. Stalk me on Instagram.
Right.
No, this is one of the teams that we play against. It's Tucson.
Did you kick their ass?
No, we go out there. They come out here. It's really fun. I'm going to go to Tucson this year and Phoenix. Phoenix has a team. Tucson has a team, and we're going to be traveling to them this year. And I just like to collect shirts from every single team. It's pretty cool, actually.
I fully understand that. I do the same thing. I like to collect T-shirts from places that I've been, and
Right.
a lot of times, like I'll guest perform for another cast. I want their T-shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a lame one, you want it. Like this one happens to be a really cool one. Like people
Yeah.
like notice it. Adam made ours for my team.
Wow.
It's okay. And
It's almost like we can see through your stomach.
Oh yeah, because green.
God.
I mean, because of it's just a pool table. It's still green. God damn it.
No, I love that. It's like radioactive, and you can see right
wow.
through your stomach.
Oh, it doesn't work that way.
Nope. But anyways, thank you for checking out my shirt.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah. Right.
And also, speaking of which, March 31st.
March 31st is
Right?
my roller derby game. Yes.
Yeah.
The
First game of
one-
the season.
First game of the season. We're doing Skating with the Stars, so it's a Hollywood
Oh.
theme. And my big emphasis this
Brad
year.
Pitt might be there.
Oh, right, yeah.
You never
Maybe
know.
in attendance, you never know.
Never know.
Might be there for plastics or something. I don't know. Maybe some skates. Who knows? Guy's wild.
Yeah.
But no, it's gonna be a really cool thing, and you're more than welcome to come.
Please.
I'll give you a flyer. We'll exchange.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Is Graves playing at that show? Or
No, they can't make it to that one.
Okay.
Maybe,
But
maybe
I'm-
future shows.
Yeah, hopefully a
it.
future show, or a future bout, they will have a show.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe we'll just have Rocky Horror come out and do it, the intermission.
This is a 1.5 hour long intermission, maybe almost 2 hours with the preamble.
So we're gonna start
Well,
out by putting your hands on your hips.
yeah.
I do have
you
my
start with the
one-man
joke.
Rocky Horror show that I promote.
Is that right?
No.
Say, wow. It's ambitious.
Right?
First of all, I'd be impressed by the costume changes and how
Yes.
fast you can make that happen.
How you can go from meatloaf to Frankenfurter.
Yeah.
Just,
Especially during Damage Janet, you gotta switch back and forth real quick. Brad, damn it, Brad, Janet, Brad.
So yeah, everyone should go check out this show for sure.
One man act.
Yeah. No, but for all things Rocky Horror Picture Show, is it the Nuarte Theater?
Nuarte Theatre
Okay.
over off of Santa Monica Boulevard.
Yes.
Every Saturday night at 11:59
59.
p.m.
Yes.
Saturday.
Yeah.
You can see me as a criminologist and other people.
So that's consistent now. You're always criminologist?
Well, okay, so we do have like other persons who perform. So I've got Mina and Tag. They are our other criminologists. So
Okay.
when I'm just like I don't
Like your
feel like
understudies?
doing it, yes.
Okay.
Understudies, you
I
know?
mean, it's hard to call them understudies,
Mules.
really. I mean, like it's Rocky Horror is not quite like your official like stage production.
Right.
So like some cast will have just like everybody is equal. So you can have like 9 riffraffs, and you know they just take turns.
Right.
And you can have multiple roles. And for us over at the Nuarte, it is kind of like more of a little more structured. So we do have like
There was structure to that show.
There's
That's part of the mystique.
amazingly enough.
Nils.
Yep.
As structured as Rocky Horror can get. Okay.
So we do have like first and second and third string. Quote unquote, I am the first string. But yeah, clearly I'm the most undisciplined. So thank you very much to a quick shout out to my second in command, Mina, who actually makes sure that things stay on track. But yeah, we do have like other people who perform rotate
Okay.
through.
And then also we have March 20th, Science Friction. It's the sci-fi burlesque. I mean, come on, what more do you want from life?
Right? All
It's
your weekends are
sci-fi.
filled
It's
now.
burlesque. It's
Yeah, come on. So we'll have a link
two
down here
great
so you can go
tastes. It
check
tastes
out.
great together.
Oh,
That's why I sold it to her. It's your world and my world combining.
right? He said
Dogs and
dirty
cats
burlesque.
living together.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Right.
I'm there. I was like, I don't even have to click the link that he sent me. I'm like, nerdy burlesque. Okay, yeah.
That's true.
let's-
That was
we're
the
gonna do
response.
it.
I didn't even check the link, but I'm in.
Yeah, I still have it. I still
roller
have it.
derby?
And I'm just like, so
Roller
down.
derby, nerd girl, burlesque. And then
Okay.
we have the collision of worlds that would just make minds melt.
That's just the chaos theory.
Princess Leia on roller skates, roller skating backwards into someone with an elbow.
At 80 miles an hour, and then you go back in time.
Did you just elbow me? Zink.
Wow, that'd be a lot to do on skates, but I can try.
No pressure, Jen.
No
I have
pressure.
faith in
Yeah.
you.
But thanks, Charles. Thanks for hanging out so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, it was good times. And make sure you go check out all the links that we have down here as well. And social media or anything you want to plug for yourself?
For myself, I'm sorry, I'm not that important.
No?
But look at Brad Pitt's Instagram.
Yeah, Brad Pitt. I met him once.
Tommy went shopping for.
This is the guy who met Brad Pitt that one time.
Yes, follow me on Facebook, Charles Aites. And I was the guy who met Brad Pitt. If you want to hear the story, hit me up. Otherwise, Hollywood Jane Revue.
All right.
And he's also Ed Reed's best friend.
And also Ed Reed.
Ed Reed's best friend.
When I know we're wrapping up, but I always felt like up in the Bay Area, it's just like I wasn't Charles, I was Ed Reed's best friend. And then when we came down here to Los Angeles, well then I wasn't Charles, I was Blanche's husband.
All right.
Yeah.
One more thing before we go. The night we met, I apologize. Like we alluded to, I may have had too much to drink.
Just maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. It was a good night. It was a long night. I was very excited to be part of the Rocky Horror Picture Show again after a long break from doing it. Thanks for still coming to the show.
Nope.
After
Right.
however the hell I acted.
I try to keep it professional.
Yeah, you did.
And
I came up with a
you-
business card. I remember saying out loud, this is not going to be a good impression. I'm sorry for
Yeah.
this, but here's a business card.
Yeah, when you went
No
to
worries.
the hug was really the key.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, damn it.
that
Jen
was
picked up the slack, so it's all good.
I tried. I was like, please don't judge us on our podcast based on this right now.
Right, just because we're in a bar.
Right.
I mean, don't think less of me.
but just so that you know, I'll hold your globe any day.
Oh,
That was an honor.
you
Thank
are welcome to hold my globe
There we go.
any day.
All right.
I got the
Giggity.
whole world in giggity. Yes. There you go.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. And until next time, I'm Adam.
I'm Jen.
Hey, I'm Joel.
And I'm Charles,
Charles, there he is.
Ed Reed's best friend.
Ed Reed's best friend.
Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.